Chad, I need a sorting system for my Pocket Edition world! Hello and welcome to OMGcraft. I'm your host, OMG Chad. One of the questions I get asked an awful lot and that I see in the comments of my old videos is, can you please do a video about sorting systems in Minecraft Pocket Edition? I have a tutorial for the PC edition, but a lot of users say that it will not work, and it is true. I've jumped into Pocket Edition and found out that there are a few of the techniques that I used in that video that do not translate to the Pocket Edition. So I have remade that video for you Pocket Edition users. So let's jump into Pocket Edition. I need my phone, and check it out.
As we watch the sun come up, we are going to sort our items. So this is very similar to everything that is done on the PC edition, except a few different features because, hey, we're on Pocket Edition, hooray. So here is what the item sorter is going to end up looking like. All these extra hoppers that don't have any chests below them are for you to fill in, or for you to, you know, add extra like layers and functions and stuff. And by that I just mean items that could be sorted. What is this hopper doing back here? You get out of here. Okay, so here's how it works. This first hopper is sort of your regulator hopper, and you're going to put items in here, or you could place a chest on top. And oh gosh, we're just gonna have to deal with the rain because there is no command to make the rain go away. So either you could place a chest on the top, or just place items directly into this hopper. So if I put items that I already know this is going to sort in here, it will pull these out and then place them into the chests down here. So now we have 12 repeaters, we have 8 grass, and here is the redstone coming in. If I took this and put even more grass into it, you would see that after it sorts through, we used to have 8, now we have 17 grass. So before I teach you how to actually make this, let me show you what is actually going on. It looks like we have a little sheep friend to help us out. So, oh gosh, and I'm causing holes every which way. And I don't know how to place blocks. So here is the hoppers. Now, here's what you have to remember about hoppers is they have 2 rules. They pull from inventories and they push into other inventories. So this hopper right here that has this chest above it, it will pull from the chest that is above it. So always the pull action is from the top because that is the only place that can input items into a hopper. And then the push action can actually be in all sorts of different directions, to left, right, which is north, south, east, west, or down. You can tell which way they are going to be pushing into based off of the direction of the nozzle. You can see that there is a little nozzle, that very smallest square or cube at the bottom of the hopper's texture is the nozzle, and depending on which way it faces is the way that the hopper will push items into the inventory that it is next to. All of these hoppers on this side are all pushing into the hopper next to them. You can do this by double clicking on the left hand side controls to shift, and then you can place hoppers down in whatever direction you want. Whichever block you clicked on is the direction that the nozzle will face. So if I click on this, the nozzle will face into that hopper. Now, here is another interesting thing, and that is that hoppers will always pull first. So if I go ahead, actually, let me go ahead and destroy this because I didn't even show that. Let me actually take some things and put them into this hopper or into this chest. They'll pull down, they'll go through this sort of situation and end up in this back hopper, unless if I have totally screwed up here. They will go down the line and into this. Where did they go? Here they are. Okay, yes, they are stopping right here because I accidentally had that turned on. That is something we're going to get to in just a bit. So they'll end up going into this last hopper here at the back. it seems like this is forgetting which state is on or off. So they will end up going into this very last hopper. And that is because, unless if you're having weird issues like I'm having right now, they will always flow down in a line. But that is happening because they're pushing. Each hopper is pushing into the next one because of the nozzle direction that they are pointing. But hoppers will pull first. So I have placed a hopper underneath this line of hoppers. And if we take items and put them into the chest, as they go down, they will actually end up in this hopper right here. And that is because it will always pull before the hopper gets a chance to push. So the one below here is pulling before the one above it has the chance to push the items along. So that behavior, it really helps in these item sorters. Also, let's go ahead and just break this real fast. Also is that you can turn on and off hoppers using redstone. So right now, this item hopper has a lever below it, and this was the one that was giving me some issues. If I turn on this lever and then throw some items into the hopper chain, as they flow down, they should stop. They should stop. There they go. With that hopper, because that one has the redstone applied, which means that it is frozen in place. You could also freeze hoppers with redstone torches or redstone currents from a line. Now, something that isn't a hopper behavior, but what we will be using in order to do this item sorter is that comparators can tell the inventory space of other items. So this item hopper right here, if I add a whole bunch of items into it, it will output a redstone signal. And you can see that one redstone dust is lit and has a few particles coming off of it every once in a while. Now, once this number gets above 22, so here at 22, everything is fine. We're just at that one redstone signal. Once we get to 23, bam, 2 of these redstone things. It's a little bit hard to tell, but they are lit. 2 redstone signal is lit. Also, once we get above, you would think 22. If you would double that, you would get up to 44. And that you could have 44. If I add one more, it would be, well, not really. It's actually because of how it's rounded, you have to get up to 46. And then you get the 3rd redstone signal sent. So depending on how many items are in a hopper, is how many redstone signals you will be sending. We're going to use this because we will want just 1 and 2 redstone signals sent, but not 3. So we can't have too many items in some of the hoppers in the upcoming build that we're about ready to do. Otherwise, it will cause 3 redstones to turn on, which will cause us some issues. So let's go look at what is actually happening here inside of this build. What's happening is we're placing items into this first regulatory hopper. And the reason we're doing that is because this first hopper will put items into the system at the speed that hoppers work. You're not going to put, say, like a stack of items into this first hopper without the regulatory hopper. And then this would be like, let's say it could be filtered down into this chest right here. Well, this would be pulling, but there'd be so many items, it can't pull a stack at a time. It can only pull 1 item at a time. So it's going to give this this hopper enough time to push down the line because they're both firing at the same time. You might be saying, but Chad, you just mentioned the one below it will pull before the one above it gets time to push. Well, if there are so many items that if there's 2 of the same item in there, it will actually have time to push before this one below it can pull all the items out because they're still in the inventory. So this first hopper here will make sure that all the items going into the system are at the speed at which hoppers perform. So you're going to put them in. Items are going to travel down the line until they get to a hopper where an item can be sucked out. Inside of these hoppers, I have used a system that I've only used in the Pocket Edition because of a limitation on putting items into inventories in the Pocket Edition. On the PC Edition, I was able to fill all the areas with the colored dye over on the right-hand side with more of the same item, and that way only that item would ever be pulled by a hopper. If the hopper's inventory is full, it's not going to be able to pull an item into an already full inventory. So we have to make sure that we fill up the hopper's inventory. And if you count up, we have 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 items in this hopper. So that will keep the redstone behind this always burning at 1, just like that. Now, once we set another item into the item hopper, boop, it will, and it's so fast that you're not going to be able to see this, it will start this redstone down here. It will cause that one to go off, the redstone that my cursor is currently on. So, because of that, this the repeater down here will fire, causing this redstone torch to turn off, causing this item hopper to become unlocked, which will pull items from the hopper above it and also push items into this chest right here. So that is how the item sorter works. Items come in, they go down, 22 turns into 23, which fires all of this redstone off behind it, turning off that torch, allowing the hopper below to pull and push items into a chest. So how do we actually build this behind it? Well, you could either just pause the video and look, or hey, we'll make something right now. So first we're going to place down a few blocks. We're going to place down a block for the chest to sit on. Then we're going to place down a few blocks right here to build some of the redstone. We're going to place down a torch onto the back block, and then we are going to put down our chest. Now, in order to get all these chests to work together, we are switching normal chest, trap chest, normal chest. So let's get a trap chest and place it down. Then on the back side of this chest, we are going to place our hopper. Remember that you have to double click to shift. And we also click that chest to make sure that the nozzle is pointing into the chest. Otherwise, none of this will work. We're going to go ahead and fly up. Of course, if you're in survival, you don't have to do this, but we're going to land right here. Then you're going to put a comparator down on, oops, and try not to click the item hopper that's above it. We're going to put a comparator down. Going to go ahead and shift, take our hopper and put the nozzle facing into that comparator right there. Boop, boop. There we go. That is very important because otherwise this hopper might push the items into a specific direction. It might push them over to the hopper to the side of it. It has to be pointing into that comparator just so it doesn't accidentally push items downwards or into anywhere else. Then we're going to place some redstone down. We'll place one redstone dust there. While we still have this open, let's place our repeater facing towards, remember there is an arrow on the repeater. It matters which way it's facing into that torch, then placing down a block, then placing redstone on top. And there you go. Now what you have to decide is what item you are going to sort out of the chain. Let's go ahead and do something I haven't done yet, which is hoppers. So we're going to go ahead and put a whole bunch of hoppers in here. Once we get to 22, if we add one more, the whole system will fire. So we're going to go boop, 23, and then there we go. We're back down to 22. Now, in order to make sure that the hopper doesn't pull other items, random items, out of the inventories of the hoppers above it, we are going to put items that we hope will never go through the sorting system, ever. And I've chosen dye in order to do that. Every dye that we add will push some more hoppers through the system. And if we open up our chest, you can see that we have 4 right there because they have gone through. And there you go. That is how you make an item sorter. Remember that if you also, really cool thing is if you put items in here that the system doesn't understand, like these comparators, or oops, that chest actually probably will go into the area it should. The hoppers will keep pushing them down because they're not getting pulled out. And so I have added a very, very simple, and we will give you a little bit of light to see by. Ooh, sorry about that. Where is my light? Here we are. We have added some hoppers just down here, which will just catch all of the excess stuff in a bin down in the bottom, so that we can just not lose those items from our system. So I hope that helps you with your build.
I hope that you found something useful in this episode, maybe learned something about hoppers, some redstone, all sorts of stuff is covered in this episode. Sorry that it is such a long one. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts on the episode, and if you want more just like this episode, please subscribe, youtube.com/OMGcraft. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on OMGcraft. Bye!